Hey students, this is your hints video for lesson 8.2 on volume of cones. So you have several cones that you're just finding the volume of. We're going to use our volume of cones formula, which is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. The area of the base, of course, is pi r squared. So in this case, we have the volume is 1/3 times pi. See, they give us the diameter is 6, so that means the radius is 3. So that's 3 squared times the height, which is 3. I can simplify this. 1/3 times 3 is 1. 3 squared is 9. So my volume here is 9 pi. And I'll use my calculator for that. 9 times, I'll use my pi button. I have 28.274 to the nearest tenth. My volume is 28.3 cubic meters. All right, next I'm finding the missing dimension on this cone, which is the height. That's what I'm going to try to find. I'm going to use my formula, volume equals 1/3 area of the base, which is pi r squared, times the height. Now they tell me that the volume is 1/18 times pi. And that's equal to 1/3 times pi times, let's see, the radius. The diameter is 2/3 of a foot, so the radius is 1/3 of a foot. So that's 1/3 squared times h. So let me simplify this a little bit. First of all, I can divide both sides of my equation by pi so that that's not an issue anymore. Now I have 1/18 equals, let's see, 1/3 times 1/3 squared. So 1/3 squared is 1/3 times 1/3, which is 1/9. 1/9 times 1/3 is 1/27 times h. So now to solve for h, I want to multiply both sides of my equation by 27. So I get my height is 27/18, which is 1.5. So my height is 1.5 feet. All right, here's another one where I'm finding height. This time the volume, though, is not in terms of pi. So I'm going to go about it the same way. My volume is 1/3 times pi r squared times h. This time my volume is 225, and that's equal to 1/3 times pi. Let's see, my radius would be half of 10. So my radius is 5. So I need 5 squared. And then times h. Okay, so 5 squared is 25. So here I have 225 equals, I'm just going to write 25/3 times pi times h. So first, I'm going to multiply each side by the reciprocal of 25/3. I'll multiply by 3/25. So that simplifies this part. So now I have pi times h is equal to, and in my calculator I'm going to do 225 times 3, and then take that and divide by 25, and I get 27. So now I just need to take 27, divide by pi, and I get 8.594. And it asks me to go to the nearest tenth, so that's about 8.6 centimeters. All right, my next one, I have water leaking from a crack in this vase at a rate of 1/2 of a cubic inch per minute. How long does it take for 20% of the water to leak from the vase? So first, let's figure out what the volume is. So we know that's 1/3 times pi r squared h. So in this case, we're talking about 1/3 times pi. let's see, they give me the diameter is 4.8, so that's 2.4 squared times 10. Let's see, 2.4 squared is 5.76, times 10 is 57.6, times 1/3 or divided by 3 is 19.2. So here I have 19.2 pi. I'll go ahead and calculate that, and I get about 60.3 cubic inches. We want to know how long it takes for 20% of the water to leak out. So I'm going to take this number in my calculator and multiply by 0.2, 20%. And now I get that 20% is equal to 12.06 cubic inches. Okay, and then if it takes a 1/2 inch per minute, I'm going to go ahead and take this answer and divide by half, in other words, multiply by 2, and I get 24.127 inches, so about 24.1, well, I think I said inches, I meant minutes, 24.1 minutes for that to happen. All right, and then my next problem is this lemonade problem. I have 10 gallons of lemonade. I'm given a conversion from lemonades to cubic centimeters. I want to know how many cups I'm going to need. So first I better figure out what's the volume of this cup. So it's 1/3 of pi r squared h. So that's 1/3 times pi. My radius will be 4, so that's 4 squared times 11. And I'll go ahead and calculate that. 4 squared is 16. So 16 times 11, divide it by 3. That's the same as multiplying by 1/3 times pi. And I get 184.3 cubic centimeters. Okay, so that's in 1 cup. Now, I'm told I have 10 gallons of lemonade to sell. So let's figure out how many cubic centimeters is that. So 1 gallon is 3,785 cubic centimeters. So 10 gallons will multiply by 10, and we get 37,850 cubic centimeters. So that's how much I have to sell. And what I need to do is divide that number by 184.3. Okay, so I have 37,850 divided by the answer I just came up with, and I get 205.36 cups. So I'm going to say, even though normally I would round down, if I want to use all of the lemonade, that's 206 cups. If cups are sold in packages of 50, how many should I buy? So I can divide that by 50. Well, I get 4.1, but I better round up to 5 again because I don't want to waste any lemonade. And then last, how many cups will be left over if you sell 80% of the lemonade? Okay, so first we're going to take this 37,850 number and multiply by 80%. So 37,850 times 0.8 means what I'm going to sell is 30,280 cubic centimeters. That's how much I sell. I'm going to divide that by my 184.3. And I'm going to need 164.2, so that's really 165 cups is what I need. Okay. What I bought, though, is 5 times 50 is 250 minus my 165. So what I'm going to have left is 85 cups. All right, number 21, I'm comparing this cylinder and cone. It says that they have the same volume, and I need to figure out what's the height of the cone. So the volume of the cylinder is pi r squared h, and the volume of the cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. I see that the radius of the cylinder is x and the height is y, so that's pi x squared y is equal to 1/3 pi, and the radius of the cone is half of 2x, which is x, so that's x squared times h. Now, I can divide both sides by x, by pi, I can divide both sides by x squared, and I get y equals 1/3 of h. So if I'm solving for h, I need to multiply by 3, and I get h equals 3y. So for these two shapes to have the same volume, the height of the cone needs to be 3 times taller than the height of the cylinder.